Okay, now we're working. Okay, welcome back. That was crazy. It wasn't connecting. So, welcome. My name is Laura, and we are here to have conversations of support. And today's topic does still involve grief, but it's really more about um, finding ways to move forward, even though grief never leaves, right? Have you found your calling in the midst of grief? Um, I'm working on finding mine. Um, Sometimes, and I've had a calling for quite a long time. When you raise when one of your children has an incurable disease and a chronic disease, you have your own, you find ways to cope through that, right? So I've always had a way of coping was to and it might not necessarily have always been the best way, but I keep busy, right? So I keep busy volunteering. And so right now, in this time of my life of grief, um, I'm searching for a new passion, a new calling to some degree, in addition to my old callings, if that makes sense. So, what I did today was I had another follow up. This is like the second or third meeting that I've had. I am going to start volunteering at our local hospital here, where AJ was for 9 days, and I'm going to be part of their care team, their spiritual care team. Meaning, I'm going to be an on-call chaplain. I'm to help out with that, and I'm going to also help out with their version of what I like to think of and call like a candy striper, where you have your cart and you have different activities, books, and things and you go around and you talk to the patients, right? Um, and who doesn't think that I can't talk, but I can also listen, right? Um, and so I do like interacting with people. So I thought this may be just what God wants me to do to help not get stuck in my own sadness and grief of not having our son AJ here. I really feel like AJ's pushing me. AJ's watching over me, but I'm excited about this journey. I think it's a way for me to um, share um, what has gotten us through all of AJ's journey. The hope and the faith um, that we could do this, that we could get through all of his health issues and my own and all that kind of stuff by having faith that God would provide for us, and He has. And even though this latest part wasn't exactly what we wanted at this time, we do know deep down inside that it was the right time, and I can see how it was the right plan for AJ to move on to his heavenly room up in heaven. Um, so this will give me an opportunity to interact and support the staff too, to support and just be there to talk if they need somebody to talk to on a particular hard day or whatever, just to, listen to them and give them the reassurance that they're where they're supposed to be in their calling. Um, so I have always been a volunteer. I have pretty much done most of my adult life as a volunteer. So I don't get paid for a lot of the stuff, or I haven't in the past. And uh, it's a way to give back and not expect anything in return, right? All my PTA work has been volunteer. And I've been doing that for, oh gosh, um, let's see, Kelly would have been in first grade, so she would have been 7 years old, so maybe like almost 20 some years, I guess. Well, 20, 20, 23, no, 7. I don't know. I'm not good at math. No. Anyway, um, because she'll be 30. But uh, it was a way to get involved. It was a way to meet other people, right? And then to support and advocate for all our children, especially, you know, our kids with special needs. They never usually have a voice. Um, uh, or as loud as you know, some others, but you know, we're here to advocate for all the kids, you know, whether you're gifted or you struggle with learning, or you're you know, have some reason that makes school hard for you, or even for uh, uh, if school's easy for you. We're there to support all the kids, right? And we're there to support all the staff. And as a volunteer, I got involved because as a special needs parent, I wanted to see what was going on in the schools and everything, and it's been a benefit, you know. And then when AJ passed, and all of his past teachers, you know, a lot of them came to support our family, really touched my heart, right? So when we're going through life and we find ourselves, you know, we all talk a lot about being grateful and gratitude and writing it down. That can go hand in hand with finding your calling, right? So maybe take some time, find out what brings you enjoyment, find out, you know, is that something that you think you can do even when life is hard? Or are you only going to go out and help somebody else if it's convenient for you, if it works in your life schedule, and your life happens to be going smoothly with no bumps and bruises going along, right? Or can you also still continue to do that volunteer work even when you're battling your own difficulties in your own personal life too? Can you also help focus on not just yourselves but others too? That's what I do, and that really is what um, brings me peace. You know, when AJ was a preemie, he was born 7 weeks early. He was born at 33 weeks. Had to stay in the NICU for like 6 days, which isn't very long in the grand scheme of a lot of NICU babies, right? But what I did is I ended up volunteering at that hospital in the NICU department for, oh gosh, just under a year. I think it was like 6 to 9 months. I can't remember. And then life got hard, having a toddler and an infant, so I had to step back from doing that. But I feel like I'm coming full circle again, because, you know, he was born early and had to stay in the NICU, and he left us early, and when he left us, he was in the ICU. So he began life in the ICU and he ended life in the ICU. And so what I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm giving back to those the place and the people there that took care of him. One of the things I did today too is you all know, and I don't know if I have talked to you about it. I can't remember if I did a live on it or not, but we were finally able to do our luncheon for the ICU team on Friday, this past Friday. So it was wonderful. It worked out great. And I had told you all we had used our local Royal Farms for their catering. Did you know they do catering? I didn't, but when I was looking for places to order food from, I found them, and so we did, you know, like the sandwich platter and the chicken and the steak fries, all that. They were awesome because we had to keep postponing it because of the hospital schedule, but we were finally able to do it on Friday. Well, the main lady who worked, who was manager there, Miss Margaret, I didn't get a chance to see her on Friday because she wasn't working that day. So today, on my way home after my meeting at the hospital, I stopped at that Royal Farms just to see if she was there. And she was, and I was able to thank her again and tell her to thank her team for doing such an awesome job with us on Friday. Gave her a hug. She gave me a hug. It was wonderful. And it was just nice to volunteer my time to go back and tell her that her efforts were appreciated and that her team's efforts were appreciated, because we had volunteered to do this luncheon, and I explained to her why, and she thought, she was sympathetic to it because she had just lost her dad back in September, 2 months before we lost our son. So she understood. So sometimes, when we get busy and we get down and life gets frustrating, stop and thank somebody who was there for you. Um, I'm still working on my thank you cards. I'm getting there. Haven't gotten them all done, but I'll eventually get that done. But I was there today, and it just made me feel good to be able to tell her thank you too, because we didn't get to see her. But find your calling, and when you find it, try your best to do it in both the good times of life and the bad times of life. When we're struggling and having a bad time with life, it gives us something else to focus on, away from our struggles, away from ourselves for a little bit. And then when you're in the season of life is going well, then don't forget to go help then too. Don't just assume somebody else is going to be able to volunteer, because we're all struggling to find the volunteers now, and it's become commonplace in a sense for people to just say, oh, somebody else will do it, right? Somebody like Lora who will pick up and do it for you, but I'm not always going to be here. I'm not always going to be around to be able to do all of that. I'm going to have to find the ones that fit my passion and everything. And I love to mentor, and I love to talk, and I love to share encouragement and talk about my faith. And so this new volunteering that I'm going to do at the local hospital, I think is something that is going to help me personally heal. But while I'm healing, I can also help others who are also going through a tough time, with their loved one being sick, or maybe they are the loved one that is the patient there, So I'm not going to keep this long as I have in other times, but we'll come back and chat again probably in a week. Hubby likes to go out and meet up with his buddy to have dinner. That's when I like to sneak on and have a live. And so just think about it, if you choose to volunteer, find a way to be able to do it both in good times and in bad times, right? It can help us in both seasons of our life. When we're happy, and we can encourage somebody else who might be struggling, and when we're having a tough time, but we're still helping others, our support system, our others will be there to support us too and encourage us. So tell me, if you watch this later, if you want, tell me how you volunteer. How do you give back to the community that blesses, that helps make your world feel safe and secure and happy? What do you do to give back? And let me know. I bet there's some great opportunities out there that maybe others would be interested in hearing about. I'll keep you posted. This is going to be a new journey with me as I move forward as an on-call type chaplain person at the local hospital. But so it's going to be, we're going to take this journey together. So I hope everyone has had a wonderful day. We're having, it's not completely done yet, but we're having a new roof put on our house. So it's also quiet right now because the roofers just left at 5:30. So it's quiet for the first time today. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done the live tonight if it was still noisy, but they will be back tomorrow to finish up. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching, and thank you for being part of my support team And I hope that I can help and volunteer to help you at some point in whatever you're doing. And I look forward to, if you have questions about what it means to volunteer, especially with the PTA, just message me, let me know, and I'll be glad to talk about it with you and connect you with some awesome units out there. So I have made some lifelong friends who are that I may not have met if it wasn't because of our journey through PTA together. And now I'm hoping to make also some more friends here too, um, uh, with the rest of the care team at the hospital. So, all right. So have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next time. Don't forget to have a conversation of support, and don't forget to smile when you're out and about, you know, even if you have to wear a face mask. Remember what we've always said, even throughout the pandemic, is, and even if you're working in healthcare and you have to wear the mask, you can smile, because let those laugh lines, those wrinkles show. Um, you know, smile at one another. It may be you may be the only person that smiled at that other person, and you made their day. So I will see you all next time. So blessings to you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll chat more later. All right? Bye.